My husband's clueless mistress thinks she's the only other woman, but she has no idea we're actually three in this mess, and I'm just going to let her live in her little fantasy while I plan my exit. 4 years ago, I found the text on his phone while he was in the shower. I wasn't snooping. He had left it face up on the bathroom counter, and a message lit up the screen while I was brushing my teeth. I almost didn't look, but I did, and once I started reading, I couldn't stop. Cute little messages. Do you love me more than her? When are you finally going to leave her? And his replies were right there underneath every single one. Yes, baby. Soon. I promise. You're the only one who actually knows me. I stood there reading the whole thread while I could hear him singing in the shower like a man with absolutely nothing to hide. When the water shut off, I put his phone back exactly where he left it, face up, same angle, and walked to the kitchen to make coffee like nothing had happened. I remember standing at the counter waiting for it to brew and thinking very clearly, very calmly, okay, now I know. I made a decision that morning that I have not second-guessed once. I was not going to blow up my life on his timeline. I was going to blow it up on mine. Here is what took me another few months to piece together. There was not one other woman. There were two. The first one I found through his phone. The second one I found through a credit card statement 3 months later. A jewelry store I had never heard of in a city I knew he had traveled to for work. The amounts were small enough to overlook if you weren't paying attention. I was paying very close attention by then. The first one is completely in love with him. That part almost makes me feel sorry for her. She sends him voice notes while she's crying. She begs him to block me on social media. She asks if he still sleeps with me, and he tells her no, not in years. You're the only one I want. She asks when they're finally getting their own place, and he says soon, just has to handle the finances carefully because of the kids. She believes every single word. She has been believing every single word for 4 years. She has rearranged her entire life around a future that does not exist, and a man who is currently in bed next to me every single night. Her staying exactly where she is works in my favor. The second one is smarter. She doesn't ask for love. She asks for things. Bags, earrings, a hotel stay here and there, cold in her messages, almost businesslike, and I can tell it frustrates him because he tries harder with her than she tries with him. She knows he has limits on what he can spend before I notice, so she keeps her requests just small enough to stay under the radar. She is playing a very different game. I actually respect it a little. Meanwhile, I am here. I have full access to every credit card. My name is on the joint savings account. The house is in both of our names. We have 4 children, and the youngest turns 18 in 3 years. My husband earns significantly more than I do, and if I had filed for divorce the day I found those texts, a judge would have looked at our income gap and handed him the kind of custody arrangement that would have put my children in the same house as a woman who has spent 4 years telling my husband to treat me badly. A woman who hates me without even knowing me. I was not going to let that happen, so I did not confront him. I kept a house running, and the kids fed and showed up to every school event and family dinner and work function where I smiled and shook hands with his colleagues and acted like a woman with absolutely no idea. He still brings me coffee in the morning. He still reaches for my hand in the car. Whatever he tells those women about how he treats me, the reality is that he has never once been cruel to me. I think he has convinced himself that keeping both worlds running smoothly means no one gets hurt. He is going to find out exactly how wrong he is. Every Friday night after he falls asleep, I transfer a small amount into an account he does not know exists. I opened it 14 months ago at a bank we have never used together. I have been meeting with a financial advisor, someone with no connection to anyone in our lives. I have been screenshotting everything. Texts, credit card charges, hotel receipts found in his jacket pocket, dates and amounts and locations, all organized in a folder backed up in 3 separate places. I have also spoken quietly to a lawyer, not to file anything yet, just to understand exactly what I am entitled to, what a judge would see when this goes in front of one, and how to make sure that when I finally move, I move in a way he cannot recover from before I am already gone. He thinks I am planning our anniversary trip for next spring. He brought it up at dinner last week, and I told him I had been looking into options and that I wanted it to feel special this year. He smiled and said he trusted me completely. I am planning something for next spring.